All right, everyone. Welcome to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for October 27th through the 29th of 2017. And this video is for Sidereal Astrology using the actual size of the constellations. If you are new, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so this weekend we've got the moon shifting into Capricorn on Friday, the second half of the day, going into Saturday and Sunday. So a bit of detachment, maybe emotionally, usually does make it good for productive things or anything that does require responsibility. Venus is going to be squaring up to Pluto while Mercury sextiles Pluto. So maybe some challenges in the relationship sphere collectively. At the end of the day with this aspect, we are actually wanting intimacy and acceptance in our relationships. This is unconscious. So bringing some conscious light to this does help the energy flow, which might otherwise be a bit of tension or control or something like that. So we'll talk about that in detail. And then as we get into Sunday, the second half of the day, the moon does shift into Aquarius, which does emphasize a bit of free-spiritedness of being who we truly are. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail. All right, so let's break this down here. First, for Friday, the moon will still be in Sagittarius for the first half of the day, which was really the theme for Thursday as well, which is a bit of that open horizons, bigger picture of life, the spiritedness of expanding our horizons. And on Friday, too, we're still under the influence of the Sun conjunct Jupiter from Thursday as well. So there is this, optimism, open-mindedness, adventurousness, which is really good, and anything that you want to continue to use that inspiration towards, I think is still great on Friday. So with that being said, as we shift into the second half of Friday, the moon going into Capricorn, it does suggest more of that reserve, maybe feeling like we want to take care of some responsibilities, or we're feeling more responsible, right? So anything that does require that patient, grounded approach, I think is fantastic this weekend. And really, there just could be a theme regarding this weekend that could be good to implement in our lives. So also, as we get into the second half of Friday, we will start to feel the Venus square Pluto, Mercury sextile Pluto aspects, which are going exact at almost the exact time, actually, which is synchronistic. Yeah, with Venus, typically it is about relationships, and Pluto is about depth, essentially releasing attachment. So typically with this aspect, it's that our unconscious, which is what Pluto really invokes, wants to have intimacy, right? Wants to have depth and to be accepted, right? At the end of the day. But because it's unconscious, we may go about it in the unconscious way, right? So that's where, due to this need and this want, there can be control, right? There can be some tension. There can be some power struggles or things like that. Doesn't have to be, but we could be noticing this in the collective. So the best way of working with this, in my opinion, is to bring conscious attention to this need to connect deeply and intimately. And with that awareness, realizing that it's hard to do this, right? It's hard for all of us to do this, but anything we can do to let the walls down, to be vulnerable, and to really give and take, which is the Venus energy, maybe even focus more on the giving side of it, actually, is a great way of working with this. And then we're aligning with it. Then we're challenging ourselves with Pluto. We're challenging ourselves to get into the deep and vulnerable side of life, which we're actually wanting unconsciously, right? So that aligns with that, helps the energy flow, helps us be more non-attached to any outcome involving relationships or whatever. And yeah, that can help the power of life flow through us versus our egos, possessing or owning or controlling things. So I think that's going to be the strongest aspect, but Mercury sextiling Pluto does actually give ease to this. I think we are willing to see things deeply these 2 days and even communicate a bit of this depth, actually. So I think, if it is involving maybe a close relationship or anything like that, really expressing how we feel, expressing how much they mean to us. The communication side is really synchronizing with this deep Pluto energy. Now, if it's not on that level, it can be a good couple days for research. We're willing to see the depth, right? So that can apply to anything. Again, it could be a productive weekend for a lot of us. And with Mercury, really good to really dive deep with our work or anything we might be focused on at this time. All right, so this is definitely the strongest aspects of the weekends. We'll be dominating the energies for Friday and Saturday. Then as we get into Sunday, the moon will still be in Capricorn, but finishing up first half of Sunday, still grounded, responsible, good for that kind of stuff. But then as we get into the second half, a bit of that Aquarius energy. All right, so this is great for individualism, being who we truly are, maybe connecting to groups or community stuff. Going into Monday can help us feel nice and emotionally rooted with that. One other thing I do want to mention about the weekend is we are in the first quarter phase. So about a week ago, we had the new moon. And so now this weekend is fantastic for really implementation. Any new beginnings, any new ideas, any new shifts since last Thursday from the previous week is really great to be implementing this weekend. All right, so have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday for the daily/weekend, or actually daily/weekly forecast. I am actually going to Austin here next week, so I will be making a weekly encompassing the entire week. All right, so I'll see you for that. Have a great weekend. Take care.